UFC 324 is absolutely stacked from top to bottom with big names such as Paddy Pimblett and Sean O'Malley and fan favourites like Arnold Allen and Derek Lewis and a really stacked undercard on top of it. I'm going to be bringing you my predictions and my analysis for the fights on this card. And we're going to be starting with Ricky Turcios versus Cameron Smotherman. Now, this is obviously not the best fight on the card, but Cameron Smotherman, he had a good performance. I think he ruined a lot of parlays his last fight against Ricky Simon. Yeah, Ricky Simon come into that big favourite if I remember correctly. On a 2-fight losing streak, I think Ricky Turcios is on the same. We'll have a look at him in a sec. But you got Jake Hadley, Ryan Monado, Ryan Coos. Cameron Smotherman's quite a good up-and-coming prospect in my opinion. Ricky Turcios, on the other hand, let me get up old Cameron Smotherman. Ricky Turcios, on the other hand, I don't think he's going to be able to put up a good enough fight against Cameron Smotherman. I thought I'd save all the fighters' stories. They might be worth looking through, but it did seem like there's much going on Smotherman's story. But Turcios, on the other hand, he's coming off 2 losses as well, I'm pretty sure. Let's double check. Ricky Turcios, 12-5. He's coming off the loss to Bernard Sapage. No shame in that on the Makachev Moicano card. And Raul Rosa Jr. Again, I don't think there's a lot of shame in that either. The sort of level that these two are at. I think it's going to be quite an interesting fight. Could be quite an even fight if Ricky Turcios decides to show up. But in all honesty with you people, I think Cameron Smotherman's going to get an easy victory. So my first prediction, I'm going to have Cameron Smotherman to get the win over Ricky Turcios. Next fight that I'm going to predict, I'm really excited for this fight. I had him on one of my favourite fights of the year last year, Michael Johnson, and I might have had Alex Hernandez as one of my favourite fights as well with his fight against Chase Hooper. We'll have to have a little well, you guys have a look at the video and see for yourselves. But this is going to be a really fun fight, a really fun fight. I love both these fighters, to be honest with you. Alex Hernandez is obviously coming off that great win over Chase Hooper, that buzzer beater finish. Michael Johnson, he's also coming off a really solid win over Daniel Selhuber. That was my favorite fight of the. What card was it? Let's get it up, guys, instead of trying to guess. Huber. Alright, Daniel Huber and Michael Johnson, they fought on the Holloway Poirier 3 card. Wow, what a card that was, and what a fight Holloway Poirier was as well. But really good way to end the trilogy. Well, it could have been better for Poirier, but I thought it was it's obviously put Holloway nicely with all his fights that he's got now. Oliveira coming up, but this one. I was and ahhing on this one, to be honest with you guys. I was and ahhing. They're both looking really good. Michael Johnson, as you know, he's one of them fighters that you can't count out. We had a video of Ricky Turcios, but I don't think you guys are that bothered about seeing that, to be honest. Obviously, it's Alex Hernandez is looking to make it 6 wins in a row at lightweight. This is such a 2019 fight. That's a great comment, Matthew. But from serving tables to the UFC, I've seen this, and I thought this was quite a good video. I'll share this with you guys quick. It's Michael Johnson basically talking about before the UFC.
Regional circuit, and then I looked at my good friend Jesse Zag, and I was like, I'm not losing till I get to the UFC. That's just crazy. And I rallied off, and I went to 8-4, and then I got on the Ultimate Fighter. But This is a time where
fought Khabib, if I'm not
I had
mistaken.
literally I was going through classes too, so I was working serving Java Cheddars, which is one of the craziest restaurants in Springfield.
He's fought the best.
So I would literally wake up at like probably like 5 or 6 in the morning and go do strength conditioning with my coach Brian King at the time. I was 4-4, believe it or not, like the regional like circuit. Like, and then I looked at my good friend Jesse Zach.
Yeah, well, like I say, you go if you know me, I love an underdog story, and yeah, well, Michael Johnson definitely is the embodiment of an underdog story. He's an absolutely great fighter. Yeah, as I say, guys, I was umming and ahhing with this one. I was umming and ahhing. I think I'm sort of sitting on the fence, but I'm not gonna do that. That's boring. I'm gonna go Alex Hernandez to make it 7 in a row at lightweight, and I'm gonna have him. I reckon he's gonna finish Michael Johnson. I reckon we might see a bit of what was the really bad knockout Michael Johnson? Yeah, the Diego Ferreira. Oh, if you've not seen that, please go check that out. It is yeah, it is a great knockout. But I mean, then again, I'm sticking with my guns. I'm gonna go with Hernandez, but as you can see here, Johnson and Usman. I didn't even know this, but apparently Johnson and Usman have been training together for 14 years. Johnson's looking like he's in great shape, to be fair, looking ready for the fight. I wouldn't put it past him, but it's a prediction video. You can't 50-50 sit on the fence. You gotta get a prediction, don't you? I may come to regret it, but I'm gonna go with Alex Hernandez to get the finish over Michael Johnson. Now, next up, we've got, funnily enough, another fighter who was on my favourite fights of every card on the year, last year. And that fighter is Charles Johnson. Now, Charles Johnson, he's coming into this one. He's going to be fighting Alex Perez. Alex Perez, if I'm not mistaken, he's coming off that bad loss on the Qatar cards. Let me double check that. Yeah, it was some sort of submission in the second round off the top of my head. But off the top of my head's no good, so let me get it up quick time, guys. Bear with. Alex Perez. Alex Perez, right, Alex Perez coming into this one 25-10. Yeah, that was it. UFC Fight Night November. I'm certain that was the Qatar card. I'm pretty sure this was the same card. No, it wasn't. It might have been the same card Johnson got his win on. I'm not too sure. I have to double check on that. Where Johnson fought Lona Kavana. One of my favourite fights last year. But yeah, the loss against Asu Almabayev. I didn't think Alex Perez looked any good in that. But then again, a loss to Asum Almabayev and a loss to Tatsuri Taira. There's not a lot of shame in that. I went against Matthew Niccolo before that, and then a loss against Mohammed Makayev. Again, there's no shame in that. But Charles Johnson, as you know, he's one of my. Yeah, he's an underdog. He's that fight that Charles Johnson had with Lona Kavana. It was yeah, it was absolutely unreal. But before Charles Johnson had this fight with Lona Kavana, he actually knocked out Joshua Van. I don't know if you guys know this, but Joshua Van, the current flyweight champion, with that controversial win over Pantoja recently, as you can see, he gets quite a vicious knockout over him, and that wasn't that long ago. That was in July 2024. Under 2 years ago. So can Charles Johnson go on a run? Can he beat Perez? Can he get someone like Kai Kara France maybe? I know that's a bit up there for beating number 14, jumping straight up to wherever he's ranked. I'm sure he must be ranked around 10-5. But yeah, Charles Johnson, I think he really does have that. He really does have that it factor. He's Yeah, he's a great fighter. This is him actually talking about no, I think this is Joshua Fan actually talking about getting knocked out by Charles Johnson. We'll have a quick look and see what the flyweight champ's got to say about Charles Johnson.
Lost to Charles Johnson. You've obviously rebounded so well. Is that a fight you'd like to get back one day?
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame him. Probably wants that back as much as Pantoja wants it back against him. Oh my god. Yeah, nasty knockout by Charles Johnson. Yeah, it's if you couldn't have guessed it, I'm going with Charles Johnson to win this fight. It's I'll be honest, I don't actually think it's going to be a competition for him. I'm not trying to downplay Alex Perez. He's do you know what I mean? He's a good athlete, a good fighter, but I think this is going to be Charles Johnson's night tonight. I'm going to go with Charles Johnson to get the win over Alex Perez. And I mean, we've got another great fight straight off the back after this. We've got Modestas Bukauskas versus Nikita Krylov. Now, this is going to end, I reckon this is going to end in the first round. Modestas Bukauskas, he's obviously got an amazing story. I don't know if you guys know his story, but obviously
where we were when I just got injured against Gil Roundtree, cut from the UFC, thinking, what's going to happen next? And come back to Cage Warriors.
This is when he had his fight with Khalil Roundtree, and they put him back to Cage Warriors.
Winning the belt, getting back to the UFC, winning on short notice, and it's like the thoughts that I've always had in my head about climbing the ladder and going towards the top and holding the belt. Now it's like
the people that come into the UFC, like your Brandon Moreno's, who they come into the UFC, they end up getting kicked out of the UFC because they've got a losing record, whatever. They go prove themselves on the regional scene again, and they come back to the UFC and win a belt. It's arguably just as impressive as going on like a unbeaten, maybe not as impressive as an unbeaten run, but going on a good run and winning the title. Yeah, there's
not such a far dream. I've now got into the first dream or goal was to be in the UFC, and that was done for the second time. And now it's like I say, now we're knocking on the door of the top 15, and then once you're knocking on the door of the top 15, you work your way up and you get towards that title shot. That's why I say it's on the brink of making it reality, because all those things that I've been dreaming of.
It is always on the brink. You see, the thing is with Modestas, off the top of my head, the last couple times I've watched him fight, he's won, he's lost, he's won, he's lost. Let's have a little double check. Modestas, the Baltic Gladiator. Right, 19-6, so not an awful record, so he's clearly not that 50-50. Flipping, pardon me, he's, I'm mistaken. He got that great finish over Paul Craig in the last second. The win over Kutalabe, I always think anyone getting a win over Kutalabe is impressive. He's almost a bit like the Neil Magny of the light heavyweight division. A win over Sakaccia and the win over Prahachino, all finishers, apart from the Kutalabe decision, split decision as well. And if that's the fight, no, that's why, because I watched that fight and I think Kutalabe won that fight. I actually done a reaction. If you look back on my channel, I done a reaction on the Mohamed Della Maddalena card, and Kutalabe won that fight off the top of my memory, in that opinion. But Krylov, on the other hand, I don't think he's coming into this one that good. Did he fight Dominic Reyes last? No, Bogdan Guskov last. So he fought Bogdan Guskov and Dominic Reyes, obviously losing to both of them. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with Modestas, to be fair. I think he's gonna do enough to win it. There they are. There we've got a little clip of Charles Johnson and Ariel Helwani, but I don't think we need that. But yeah, Krylov versus Bukauskas. It's gonna be a good fight. I reckon it could. It's one of them ones. Anyone with people when they got power like this, or as we're gonna see in the next fight, it doesn't take a lot to switch out the lights. But I'm gonna go with Modestas, and I think he's actually gonna get another finish and make it 5 finishes in a row over Nikita Krylov. So right, next up we've got another fighter who I was absolutely all over on my UFC 2025 card, singing his praises. I think he's one to watch. I think he's going to be an absolute superstar. like I say, it looks like Yoel Romero's long lost son, made in a lab somewhere. We've got a Teb Gautier versus Andre Pudiev. Now, I'll be honest, Pudiev's ringing a bell, but it's almost like the bell's ringing, but no one's answering. But we'll have a little look into Pudiev in a sec, but have a little look at the power from a Teb Gautier. This is with headgear on as well, upcoming, and Combat Sunday, so... And, oh my god, look at how he folds. It is Jesus. You don't want to be on the other end of an Teb Gautier punch, I'll tell you that much. He is an absolute monster. Look, there he is, a Teb the Assassin Gautier. Look at him, he's an absolute machine. Yeah, his debut, I'm pretty sure I had his debut as my favourite fight on whatever card that was. Let's get that up. Yeah, he's an absolute machine, I reckon he's going to be a real problem at middleweight. 9-1. Yeah, look at him. He's got one loss only to decision, so he's never been finished. And he's got a night, that ground and pound on the Ankara Pereira 2 card. And the win over Robert Valentin. The win over Jose Medina. The win over Jose Medina, that's the one that I had as my favourite fight on that card. That was an absolutely solid win. He obviously got the win over Euro on the Contender Series, but really stapled it with that win over Jose Medina in his debut, and obviously gave the fans the intriguement to keep up with his career and watch what he does next. But Pudiev, on the other hand, we've got him coming into this 10-3. He's got Christopher Leroy Duncan. That's not the I had Christopher Leroy Duncan, one of his fights, as one of my favourites as well, but that was towards the end of the year. We've got Gautier. We've got Nick Klein, a win over Nick Klein, second round finish, not bad. Pretty decent run before he come up against Duncan. I know Duncan's an awesome fighter, so there's no shame in losing against Duncan either. But yeah, that's Modestus fighting Khalil before he got released from the UFC. That's Gautier absolutely destroying Robert Valentin. As you can see, it's quite funny as well, because Valentin actually tells Gautier to bring it, and then less than a minute later, as you can see, he certainly brought it to him. So yeah, it's a no-brainer, obviously. I think Pudiev's a lamb to slaughter in this, an absolute lamb to slaughter. I don't think he's got a chance. I reckon Gautier is going to get the finish. He's going to get the finish, but I reckon he's going to get it in the first round. But yeah, no matter what, I don't think Pudiev's coming out of this fight to hear the bell at the end of the 3 rounds. But yeah, wow. So Teb Gautier, and we've still got one more fight on the prelims. So the main event, for the prelims is none other than Umar Nurmagomedov versus Davison Figueiredo. Now, this is a main event level fight. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they put this as a main event on a pay-per-view. I know they don't have pay-per-views anymore. We're in the Paramount era, but like this is what I mean by, and the fights we've had before this aren't bad. They're quite solid as well. Like, it's a proper stacked card from top to bottom. But Umar Nurmagomedov versus Davison Figueiredo. Umar's coming into this one after he's fought one more time since losing to Merab, but I can't remember off the top of my head exactly who it was. Let's have a quick check. Umar Nurmagomedov, 19-1. Obviously, that one must be into Merab. So Mario Batista, yeah, I remember now, on the Aspinall versus Garn fight, the infamous Aspinall versus Garn fight. I really can't believe the majority of people's opinions on that. But yeah, we'll save that for another video maybe. But obviously, before losing to Merab, beating Sandhagen, Besket Al-Makan, he gave Umar a really good fight. I remember watching that. That was a solid fight, really good performance from the both of them. But yeah, he's still not, in my opinion, he's still not. Sandhagen's obviously up there, but I think that's like Umar's only top 5 win, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Batista was 7th, Figueiredo's still like 9th or something like that. I don't think you can justify giving Umar a title shot off the back of this, even if he does get the win. Yeah, no way. And Figueiredo, yeah, is one of them ones. His fight against Sandhagen was so frustrating to watch. It was so frustrating to watch. I'm excited for that one, guys. But yeah, it was just, I'm sat there, but I don't know what he was doing. I'm pretty sure he's had a fight since that as well. Like I say, bear with me, guys. It's all off the dome, this prediction video. All my prediction videos before, I've been sat reading notes off my phone. Not a script, but you know what I mean? I'm doing it all off the dome, so bear with me, people. Yes, that amazing win over Montel Jackson. If you check out my UFC Brazil reaction video or prediction video, I think it was a prediction video, I talked about that Montel Jackson Figueiredo fight. I lost against Sandhagen and Peter Yan's not bad, to be fair, and he went on a great one when he joined the bantamweight division after coming up from losing that quadrilogy against Moreno. But win over Rob Font, win over Garbrandt, win over Vera. This is going to be another really solid fight. And I know everyone's going to be going with Umar. I'm going to go with a bit of a wild card here. I think Figueiredo, I've seen these crazy odds as well for like Underdog at the bookies and stuff like that. Like I say, I'm not a betting man, but if I was, it'd be worth sticking a tenner on, like Derek Lewis a bit later on in the card that we're gonna get to. But yeah, to finish off the prelims, and wow, what a set of prelims it is. I'm gonna have to go with Davison Figueiredo to get the win over Umar and Magomedov. I reckon Figueiredo might just edge out a decision over Umar. I'm going to have Gautier to finish Puliev in the first round. I reckon he's going to get the knockout. I think Modestas is going to get the finish, first or second round over Krylov. I think Charles Johnson's going to get a finish. I'm hoping for a lot of finishes on this card. Hopefully we can start the year right. We've got Charles Johnson. I think he's going to finish Alex Perez. I think Alex Hernandez is going to beat Michael Johnson, but I wouldn't have no grievances if Michael Johnson beat Hernandez. And I think Cameron Smotherman's going to be able to outclass Ricky Turquoise. Passing of the torch sort of moment. I don't know how old Ricky Turquoise is. I've got in my head he's a bit of a veteran and Cameron Smotherman's a prospect, but I might be completely wrong on that, people. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, this main card, we were meant to have Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes on the main card, but obviously things got jiggled round a little bit after Kayla Harrison had to pull out after I think she had quite a bad weight cut or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But so instead, for the main card, we've got Jean Silva versus Arnold Allen, Rose Namajunas versus Natia Silva, Derek Lewis, Waldo Cortez, Song Yadong, Sean O'Malley, Paddy Pimblett, Justin Gaethje. Wow, what a main card this is going to be. We're going to start off with Jean Silva and Arnold Allen. I think this is going to be an absolute barn burner. Jean Silva's obviously coming off that bad loss to Diego Lopez, but I think Arnold Allen's coming up. Has Arnold Allen got a win since fighting Holloway? God, my memory is absolutely awful. Sorry, guys. That's what I do notes normally. Yeah, Jean obviously had that horrible spinning back elbow loss to Diego Lopez. Great win before that. I thought Bryce Mitchell was going to smoke Jean Silva and he got absolutely embarrassed. But what can you do? But I actually seen Jean Silva's been non-stop posting about Arnold Allen on Twitter. It seems like there generally is like a bit of bad blood like between them. This video where they said Jean Silva's a menace in the gym, but all he does is put some tape on the walls and it almost reminded me a bit of you remember the Joe Weller internet notes video. Not that much of a menace to me. Well, I mean, yeah, proper menace to society. Lock him up. lock him up and throw away the key. But he's even sharing videos of Arnold Allen speaking about people calling him autistic and stuff like that.
And then you've got the quiet walk.
Now we'll go back and watch that one in a sec. But I think Gene Silver, he's talking a lot, especially after the loss that he had. Arnold Allen, on the other hand, he's about as humble as you can get. I just heard a little sound, so I'll just check and I'm still recording. Thank God for that. But yeah, Arnold Allen, on the other hand, he's about as humble as you can get. Yeah, the win over Giga Chikadze, sorry. Oh, he lost against Evloev as well. Completely forgot about that. Wow, yeah, I completely forgot about that on the Strickland Duplessis card. Wow, yeah. The loss against Holloway, but before that, he obviously went on that absolutely unreal one. Arnold Allen, he's one of my favourite fighters. He's absolutely brilliant. I don't know if you keep up to date with him on Instagram or anything like that as well, but he's funny as anything. His dad's funny as well. Some big old bodybuilding guy. I think Arnold tries to implement a lot of that sort of strength training into his training for his fights, by the looks of it, by the looks of his Instagram anyway. But yeah, Arnold's really funny. We'll talk about
somebody's
Arnold.
not from
Arnold
London, where would Arnold Allen take them on a tour?
Where would you take
Felix
someone on a tour? Felix, though. So where would you take someone if you're from England? Where would you take someone from America on a tour in England? I'd probably do Skeg Vegas. One of my favourite places
Since
in
like,
England.
I think it was like 1600s. The Dutch tried to invade it.
See, Arnold Allen knows his history as
we
well.
wanted him off.
I ain't gonna bore you with a history lesson from Arnold Allen, but yeah, he's brilliant, man. If you like him, definitely go get him on Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that. But he actually thinks him and Gene Silver actually
autistic, and then you've got the
are quite similar. And I'll tell you what, I completely agree. You got two sides of the spectrum. I'd say that.
Well, calls me autistic.
Arnold breaks it
Everyone's
down.
saying we're two different ends of the spectrum. You've got the loud barking autistic, and then you've got the quiet awkward autistic.
I mean, I think I've been.
Yeah, I can't even deny it. I can't even deny it.
So
We're going to be in the face off. He's going to be barking, and I'm probably just going to be stood there like...
But they are both definitely somewhere on the spectrum.
It's how we like, man. Good for him. Good for him. Yeah.
Wow, what a fight this is going to be.
We're just like quiet and reserved. A lot of Brazilian
This
guys
is going
are
to be
very energetic.
fireworks.
So
Absolutely fireworks. And obviously Arnold Allen's going to get the win over Gene Silver. He's he's going to do bits on Gene Silver. Absolute bits. And next up, we've got Natalie Silva versus Rose Namajunas. Now, Natalie Silva, I mentioned her a bit in one of my other videos. She had that great fight over Shevchenko. I think this is going to be a passing of the torch moment. Natalie Silva is on an absolutely unreal run. 7 UFC fights, 7 wins. I think she might have had a loss since that. I'm not 100% sure. But Rose, obviously, coming off that. Well, coming off getting her friend married, actually. She baptised the friends. I seen that earlier. I was like, I'll have to include that in there. That's crazy. Yeah, Natalie Silva, Rose Namajunas. I'll be honest, it's not a fight I'm most looking forward to. I don't think there's going to be a lot of competition. I think Natalie Silva's going to be I reckon she's going to be able to make like work of Rose Namajunas. That might be a bit controversial to some people even, but look at that. Alexa Grasso, of course she hadn't lost. Alexa Grasso, Jessica Andrade, Vivian Arroyo, Andrea Lee, Victoria. Yeah, Rose Namajunas. This is going to be another passing of the torch moments. I'm certain of it. It's got to be. Natalie Silva, I think she might even get the finish. I think Natalie Silva's going to get she's going to get a finish over Rose Namajunas. But next up, this fight is such a bastard to pick for because we've got some of my favourite fighters, Waldo Cortez and Derek Lewis. Now, obviously, if you watch my 2025 favourite fights videos, you know Waldo Cortez is, he's one to look out for. I've got him champion in 2027. If he beats Derek Lewis, it could even happen very sooner. But what a fighter Waldo Cortez is. He talks about it. They on Homer Fight, they talk about it here. Where, when he fights Derek Lewis, he would have had
But ladies and gentlemen, after January 24th, sounds like we got 6 fights in 12 months.
That's unheard of these days.
Well, what about in 2026? Do you want to try for
really
5
good
fights?
English
You're
as
good
well.
with the 6 and 12 months.
No, I want to try for the whole year 2026. I want to make it 6 fights.
He's not even happy with 6
6
fights in 12
Yeah,
months.
6 fights. Yeah.
He wants
So
6
that
fights
means
in.
after Derek
my-
Lewis, you're going to need to fight again in like another month or 2.
Who's going to be ready for him? I mean, if he beats Derek Lewis, which ain't a certain by far. I mean, look, but a lot of people clearly think it is because Derek Lewis is such an underdog. He was about this level underdog at one of the Brazilians that he fought. It was a 1-3, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and I think a lot of people made some big money on Derek Lewis that night, me included. But this is going to be such a banger of a fight. Derek Lewis and Waldo Cortez. I can't see it lasting longer than a round. I can't see it lasting longer than 30 seconds, to be honest with you. I mean, what Waldo's done in the 10 months since he's joined the UFC, like, is absolutely unheard of.
You had an incredible run 2025. Was it 5 times?
If he can open up 2026
do you
the
plan to
same
be
way that
as
he
active
finished
in 2026?
2025,
Yeah, I wanna do it more. I wanna
I think
fight
Derek
7
Lewis and
times.
the rest of the heavyweight division is going to be in real trouble. He's a problem. You can't count out Derek Lewis. I think the bookies have got him at crazy odds for an underdog. I think it should be a lot more like close than it is. It's almost 50-50 in my opinion. But I've got to go with my boy Waldo Salsa Boy Cortez to get the knockout over Derek Lewis. Yeah, wow. Up next, we've got Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong. Now, wow. Sean O'Malley's obviously not had the best run as of recent. He's coming off of that back-to-back loss to Marab. Yeah, back-to-back loss to Marab. He went on a pretty decent run with the win over Vera, the win over Sterling to get the title. That was a great performance. Superstar moment for O'Malley. The win over Peter Yan, I don't think that was a win. But Song Yadong, he's not a joke. They actually faced off back in December. I don't know if O'Malley put that mask on. There's you know, they normally wear the masks in China quite a lot, where COVID's happening or not. But I mean, look at Song Yadong here. Song Yadong's always got really good boxing. He's up there with in the bantamweight division anyway. I've probably got Peter Yan and then Song Yadong for my favourite boxing. They've not got the same style of boxing by any means, but yeah, they've both got a really, really nice, fun style of boxing to watch. And Song Yadong's entertaining as anything. He's just as entertaining as O'Malley. He could arguably be just as a superstar. I bet he's just as big as a superstar in China anyway. But he's got a knockout over Arantes, decision over Morales, KO over Perez, decision over Vera, lost to Phillips, decision, not really much shame in that. The TKO lost to Sandagan. That was a really good performance from Sandagan. He looked unstoppable that night. The loss to Yan, decision, beat Cejudo, beat Gutierrez. I mean, this isn't an easy fight by all means from O'Malley. He looks like he's doing all right in his training camp from what I've seen. But yeah, this isn't an easy fight by any means, man. Not an easy fight by any means. I seen Song Yadong went on
UFC
Mike
signed you
Mouse's
because
podcast.
your teammate
I
got
actually
injured.
was watching this
Sure.
podcast earlier
Sure.
while I was
What do you mean,
sort of
sure? Yes or
gathering
no?
up on
Yes.
these
Oh,
clips
okay,
and
okay,
stuff
yes, sir.
for the video.
Then you win that fight, correct?
I got a
He's
bonus.
quite funny
Okay,
as
oh,
well.
you got a
He's quite
bonus.
funny.
Yeah, that's why.
But yeah, wow, what a fight this is going to be, man. What a fight this is going to be. Song Yadong versus O'Malley. Oh, who am I going to pick? I think Song Yadong's going to beat Sean O'Malley. As much as I'd love to see Sean O'Malley win, I think it's just Song Yadong's time. I'm going to have to go with Song Yadong to get the win over O'Malley. I think he might get the decision win over Sean O'Malley. But finally, we've got the last fight and arguably the fight I'm most looking forward to anyway. We've got Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett. Now, Justin was first claiming there wasn't a lot of animosity between him and Paddy, but from what I've seen, it didn't seem that way. Well, it seems like there's been a bit of animosity grown as the fight's been made and times gone on.
But obviously, I want to fight this guy. I want to beat him. The animosity comes from all the doubters. It's crazy how fickle these fans are and how quick they forget who I am and what I do.
I mean, that's not true, to be fair. I seen a little funny meme actually where it's like Gaethje gets a good win, gets finished. Fans, yeah, literally, it's he's not wrong, to be fair. MMA fans can be quite what's it called, prone to jump ship when a fighter they like loses, but Paddy's convinced that he's gonna get the finish over Gaethje. He's convinced if he gets on top of him, he's gonna get the finish. I mean, wow, this is gonna be such a good fight. Such a good fight. It's one of them ones I didn't. If you asked me like a year or two ago, would I think Paddy would finish Justin Gaethje? I'll be so honest. I was really excited when he come in and he got that great win over Luigi Venturami, if that's how you say his name. He's been on a really good run. A lot of people like to downplay Paddy's run, but I think Paddy's been on a really good run. The Jared Gordon fight is the blimp, but I mean, apart from that, Michael Chandler, Bobby Green, Tony Ferguson, Jordan Lever, Luigi Venturami, that was his debut. It's not the worst record in the world. It's not the worst record. It's not as bad as people make it out to be anyway. And I thought he looked great against Chandler. If you've seen the performance against Chandler, I don't see how you can have a lot of doubt about him coming into this Gaethje fight. I mean, Gaethje took Chandler to a decision. I know that's not how MMA maths works, but I mean, look, he says here about he keeps having visions and knocking
Tell me officially,
out.
What's the prediction? How do you get your hand raised? How do you earn that title?
It's the same with Chandler. He doesn't get past the third. He's not. I don't see him getting up the third round, but I can see himself finishing before that. I keep having visions and knocking him out on the feet. To be honest, I keep.
You know what? I think Paddy sold me. I think Paddy sold me. Obviously, I was going to go with old Paddy the Paddy anyway. Old English. Well, I know Paddy doesn't like claiming to be English, but you're English. Yeah, wow. What a fight this is going to be. I'm going to have to go with Paddy. I think Paddy's going to get... I think Paddy's going to submit Gaethje. I don't think he's going to have it in him to knock him out. But I think he's going to get the finish and he's going to get a submission over Gaethje. But... wow, what a card this is from top to bottom. Quickly just double back over my picks and yeah, wow. But you guys, what's the fight you're most looking forward to on this card? It's hard to pick, isn't it? There is absolutely loads to choose from. Going back and back and back, trying to get UFC 324. Let me do it this way. UFC 324. Search results 0. Great. There we go, people. Right. So my predictions for UFC 324, I'm going to have Paddy to get the submission over Gaethje, Song Yadong to get the win over O'Malley, Waldo Cortez to get the knockout over Derek Lewis, Natalie Silva to get the win over Rose Namajunas, Arnold Allen to get the win over Gene Silva, Devison Figueiredo to get a sneaky underdog win against Umar Nurmagomedov. That's the one I'm most doubting on my picks, if I'm honest with you guys. But Ataib Gautier to absolutely smoke Puliev, Bakauskas to get a lovely win over Krylov, Charles Johnson's going to get a nice finish on Alex Perez. Michael Johnson might do it, but I think Alex Fernandez is going to get the win. And Cameron Smotherman's going to do enough to get the win over Ricky Simon. So that's been my UFC 324 prediction video. Sorry if I've been a bit pausey in that sometimes. As I say, it's my first time not doing it with any notes. I just got all these clips loaded up and thought, right, let's just do it off the dome. The last two videos worked out quite good that way, so I thought this seems like a nice little routine to stick to. So yeah, let me know what's your favourite fight on UFC 324. Are my predictions right? What ones you agree with? What ones you disagree with? Let me know in the comments. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Big love. I hope everyone has an awesome day. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.